Hi, this is Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style. Today, we are with two sisters that basically took their lives and turned it into reality TV show, and now are about to take this reality TV show and make it an interactive theater experience. We are with Jennifer Graziano and Renee Graziano from Mob Wives.
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Wonderful. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm so excited because to do an interactive TV, reality show live, I think is very exciting. Um, Jennifer, I guess my first questions would be to you. How did you come up with the idea, A, to do this and to basically out your family, and now to take it and bring it live so that other people can experience maybe what you all went through?
Right. Well, first and foremost, I don't really consider it outing my family. I think the federal government and the newspaper did that way before I did. I think that happened when I was like in fourth grade. So let's start there. Secondly, I think it was a matter of I was writing, I've always wanted to be a screenwriter and I've always written poems and stuff as a kid. From there, I wrote an international number one best-selling song. And then I
Oh,
started,
which one?
it's called F You Right Back. Obviously, I do things that are out of the box. And then I started writing a script about my life. Right around the time that The Housewives was blowing up and all of reality shows becoming really big. And so I sat down with myself and I said, it's probably way easier to get into reality TV than it is to do a scripted series right now. So let me start there. And I had the cast, including my sister, under my nose. And so I just shot a tape and I started shopping it around. And that's how Mob Wives was born. And then from there, that same script that I was writing and I started with is now set up with Lee Daniels and his company that I'm writing and he's going to direct. We're taking it around town as well as internationally. And then so, from the interim of what happened with Mob Wives, we lost Big Ange. We ran our course for a while, and we've since been trying to bring it back and do a reboot. With that said, I realized that a lot of people are getting really tired of just going out to eat and all I do is go out to eat, come home, go out to eat, come home. And I'm like, this is boring, and there's a certain niche for this type of programming. So I'm like, okay, let me do something a little bit more exciting. I grew up with Tony and Tina's wedding. I grew up with the 80s prom extravaganza and all of that. I loved it. So I said, let me take a piece of this Mob Wives DNA and take it from the screen and into the room and let people experience it firsthand. Now, it's not necessarily a Mob Wives interactive play. It's called Married by the Mob, but we're taking that same sort of structure and DNA and reliving it together with our audience or living it together with our audience in market.
It it's very similar to Married to the Mob. Is it any way similar in structure to that?
Now, Married to the Mob obviously was a film, and that was kind of, I would say tone-wise, it is similar, right? That same type of cheeky, exaggerated, over-the-top comedy, if you will. But from the storyline, no, definitely not. So the reason why it's Married by the Mob is because Renee is also going to become an officiate and really be able to marry people. And one thing that I'm going to give away from my script, I also wrote the script for the play. So one thing I'm going to give away from there is our priest may or may not be a real priest. He might be a mobster on the lam hiding out in the church. So he is marrying our couple, and therefore the title "Married by the Mob."
So
Dubbed.
wait, since this is an interactive theater, will real life couples be able to come and get married in this venue?
If they want to, yes. So we're offering that as an additional package. You can buy tickets to the play, but we also, if you go to our website, obviously marriedbythemob.com, there's an opportunity for you to kind of buy the package, get married by Renee, or get married at the play. And then another idea we had was we'll bring, so if you're from, I'm making this up, Oklahoma, let's say, and you don't have a big family or a mob family, but you want one at your wedding, we will come and be your family at and put our play on at your wedding as well. So
Oh my God, have you thought of going to the Times Square Alliance? Because every year on Valentine's Day, they marry couples in Times Square. This
no.
would be hilarious.
Yes, that is an excellent idea. And yes, Renee would love that. Although I might not show up. I'm very scared of New Year's Eve in Times Square, but Renee,
No,
no.
Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Yeah, fine. Valentine's Day, I could be there. New Year's Eve, never. I don't know why I just thought New Year's
No,
Eve.
I'm telling you, you should talk to Times Square Alliance because I would have told you this the other day, but honestly, I didn't know that this was a part of it. And this is hilarious. I
That's a
mean,
good idea. Thank you.
you're welcome. Renee, and
Yeah.
actually Jennifer too. This is, you probably have been asked this question a million times, but in order to get people to truly understand and the people that are watching this that never saw any of this, how old were you when you found out, oh, hey, I'm in the mob. My family is a mob family. And how did you find out?
Okay. Well, I was in fifth grade, and there was an article about my dad in the paper being arrested. So that was my first experience with knowing we were different. I mean, the truth of the matter is, I always knew we were a little different because my father basically said, "You're not like the other families." I
Right.
didn't know exactly what he meant. Most parents go to work, 9 to 5. My father was going to work from 5 to 9. So I knew there was something different, but I was actually 16 years old when it was confirmed. I was out with a friend of mine at the end of a bar. The place was called Pastels. And a gentleman had walked over to the male friend I was with, and he said, "Oh, this is TG's daughter." And the guy said, "Yeah, father's a captain." And I said, "My father doesn't drive a boat. My father doesn't sail a ship." And my friend had said, "Hey, you should go home and talk to your dad." And I had to go home, and I was like, "Daddy, all those nights, are you like driving a boat for extra money?" He was like, "Have a seat."
Yeah.
Most kids learned about the birds and the bees, and I learned about captains and soldiers.
Wow.
Yeah. And for me, it was when you're a kid and the teacher asked what your parents do for a living. Well, I was like, so my mother's a stay-at-home mom, and my dad is, I didn't have an answer. And then the kid in the class was like, he's in the mafia. And I was like, what the? Yeah. So it was very different for me. And then Renee, of course, bragged about it all the time. So I couldn't get away from it.
I'm a very proud mob. I mean, now that he passed away, I'll say it, my boss's daughter.
I did you have any, we are shown through TV, through movies about the boxes showing up at the house and the dad's being arrested and you're not seeing him for 2 years. Did you all go through that?
All of it.
Uh,
All of it. Everything fell off a truck. Every new electronic we got for free.
oh, I miss it.
We went to the feast, the San Gennaro feast, and we would play the game, and I wouldn't win, but yet I'd still get the big, huge stuffed tiger, and I'd be like, "But Dad, I didn't win." He goes, "Yes, you did. You're a winner." And then we'd have like his friend carrying all these things behind us. So yeah, that, and yes, of course, he got arrested and taken away 3, 4 times, maybe.
Right. Right.
Was that traumatic?
4 times. Yeah, but he's got taken away a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Well, was that traumatic for you as a child?
Oh, I could
Or
go.
was that normal?
Okay. So I thought it was normal, but I will tell you this, it is part of my trauma. So I thought, and this sounds crazy, but walking out of a nightclub, there was a shootout, and I'm like under the car, and I'm like, my fur coat is getting wet. And it sounds totally insane, but I thought
No, it sounds like what a child would say who didn't know anything.
right. So that to me was normal. Like, be careful, look behind you, don't sit with your back to the door. It's strange things that normal girls wouldn't know. But I think for me, mostly it affected me in ways that I never imagined, later on in life. My life is very different than Jennifer's. She stayed more in school. I kind of, did things you weren't allowed to do and that I got caught up with in life, which I'm in recovery, so we could leave it at that. But my life has tremendous trauma. And then I married somebody that was part of it. So it was just so comfortable. It was so warm and so home for me. But looking back at it now, it's like, oh my God, my son was on, visits at 5 years old in federal correctional facilities. And, other kids are playing football and we're like visiting dad, uncle, boyfriend, so yeah, it was traumatizing, but I didn't figure that out until I was older.
Okay, and I did not have any trauma. I looked at it like dad's in jail. Amen. I have some freedom and some the foot off my neck, if you will, right? Because it was, for me, it was like he was always so strict and on top of me and wanting so much for me, and I was just like, I was able to breathe. Zero trauma about it whatsoever. I'm like, all right, he'll be back in a couple of years, and I'll visit. And in the meanwhile, I will actually live my own life. So.
You managed to escape the trap that I'm seeing in most mob children's lives. You did not marry a mobster, right?
No, I escaped, but I didn't.
You did not escape nothing.
I did not. I never truly, I tried to, right? My whole life was fighting against it and trying to find my own identity and my own way of, like, I never wanted, well, I always wanted daddy's money, but I didn't want the strings that came with it. And then the minute I realized that those strings were never going to be severed unless I made my own, that's when I decided I want to make my own money. I don't want daddy's money anymore. And so I set myself, my sights on school, and that's what I did. But I never truly escaped the life because there were boyfriends in it, there were friends in it. My ex wasn't in the mob, but he still went to jail. It affected my choices tremendously because it's like Renee said, you're comfortable with it. It's all you know. It seems normal, but it's not. It wasn't until I kind of got older that I realized that I have to just accept it as who I am and not keep running from it because you can't escape it at the end of the day.
No, absolutely.
I ran towards it with open arms. It was like, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And I was like, it was the height of the mob when I was growing up. So it was the glitz and the glamour. Yeah, there was, and forgive me for saying it this way, but yeah, there was plenty of murder, plenty of arrests. But one thing I will say about my father is he never took his work home. There might have been a couple of men on the block.
I mean, if he came home.
He always came home, Jennifer. Came home. Yeah, we have a difference of opinion.
Well, actually,
we have a difference of reality is what we have, but go on.
I actually have a question, and I hope this isn't hurtful or harmful or anything. But that lifestyle of men always have a mistress.
Yeah.
Did you have to live with that in both your boyfriends and with your father?
Well, let me say this. I would never tolerate that in a boyfriend, no matter what happened with my father. And I just want to go back to what I was saying before. He always came home. Sometimes not the same day, but he always came home, right? It never go past a day or two. And with that said, I would imagine that's what he was doing. And I'll leave it at that.
I think for me, I think I married the devil. I'm pretty sure I did marry the devil. He was a liar, a cheat. He actually had another child while married, so not fully divorced.
Not my father, her husband.
Not my father.
Yeah, and I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was married to the devil. My father's by no means. My father's my hero. And no matter what my father's done, he will always be my hero.
I think that's healthy, actually, because you're his child.
Yeah.
Well, I think
you got to learn to separate a good father and a good husband.
Absolutely.
Husband part's none of my business.
Correct. I didn't that's my mother's, but for me, my father was, when the sun rise and the sun set with my dad. I just made a very poor decision, which my father did not want me to marry my ex-husband at all. And something I learned about my family was they've always given me anything I've wanted. And he gave me what I wanted. I just didn't think that it was going to end as horribly as it did. But it did teach me. I don't know what it taught me. Maybe it didn't teach me anything because I
Now,
because I've dated a bunch of losers.
if I've read this correctly, your ex-husband was a rat.
My
I love
husband,
it when they say it just like that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I'm blunt.
no, and so am I. He's a rat, stool pigeon, no good piece of shit. Excuse me, but that's what he is. And his last name Pagan fits him perfectly. I have nothing nice to say about him, and I know they say if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit,
I'll
definitely.
say it all day long. Yes, he's a rat, a federal informant, cooperated with the government. And my father did 12 years. He came home, and within 3 months, my father was gone again because of him. What I learned from that was the closest people to you can betray you. And that affected me more than anything I experienced in the mob world. Like, God forgive me, murder, death, any of that. Nothing affected me as much as that type of betrayal, because first and foremost, my father and mother loved my ex-husband as if he was theirs.
There.
They were closer to him than me. They liked him better at one point. Yeah. So to read the transcripts of my mother from the day that I was able to read, saying, Junior, do you want breakfast? Do you want sausage or bacon? To hear that on a wiretap, for me, there's no redeeming him.
Oh, you heard it all.
Yeah, there is no redemption. If God chooses to, he can, but there's no redemption from me, my sisters, my mother, nothing.
Did he do it for money or to save his skin?
Well, he's always been broke. He liked my money. The federal government was paying him. That I found out. I did find out they paid him like
He did it to save his skin originally, and then you get paid while you're saving your skin.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Over $100,000 he got.
Wait, he's saving his own skin and they paid him for it?
Of course, because they felt my father was the big fish and they wanted him.
Meanwhile, he had the worst charge that my father got, so it doesn't even make any sense.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
Our government is backwards when it comes to federal informants, that I can tell you.
Very much so. Very much.
The fact that they're paying them, you're absolutely right. I mean, I can get it. I can get it if you did it to save your own skin. It's kind of ratty still, but
no.
At least there's a reason.
Okay, no. So which my ex-husband's case is, he murdered somebody. Okay. That's you did it. My father didn't do nothing. My father was incarcerated. So you gave up my father. You took your son's grandfather from him, and my mom and everyone else, because you're selfish. You committed that murder. There, as far as I'm concerned, the rats are telling, because they killed the people, but they're letting them go on that for something like extortion and everything is bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the real criminal was the one who did the murder, not the man who maybe cheated his taxes a little bit.
Hey, how did you find out? Did you find out through the media, or did he tell you?
So
I just want to say this. If you watch episode, what was it?
It was November 21st, 2011. It was I believe it was season 2. I don't know the episode.
You'll watch it happen in real time. We actually caught her finding out in real time. I found out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I actually.
The reality TV show wasn't scripted. It actually happened.
Oh, yeah, ours was
hospitalized for a nervous breakdown. But I was in the hospital for like 10 days.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Well, we had to have ambulances. I couldn't breathe. It was the most, I think that was the start for me losing my mind completely. Because this man was in my home. The watches there were wires in them. It was, it was
at its worst.
It was the worst, but even more so, it affected me up until I self-medicated way much more. I wanted I wanted to just go away because I was so proud to be Anthony's daughter. And before he was a Rat Jr.'s wife, and now to be shamed and people to distance themselves from me. So even more so, it wasn't just the ratting. I lost people because they believed I somehow knew.
Oh,
Believe me, I would have suffocated him or poisoned him. And I mean that with my whole
oh, I
heart.
believe you.
Yes, because he was hurting my child. My father's a man. My father could do his time, but my child paid the price more than anybody.
Is your child okay now?
My son is 31 and a father of 4 children.
Aw.
Yeah. And he's so well rounded. I don't know how, with the mother and father that he has, he's really he's the reason I wake up.
I think both of you are an example to women. Renee, I've researched and saw that you've written 2 books, right?
3.
3.
I
Okay, I know about the first one is like a book about you, but it's fiction,
uh,
right?
yes, so it's an erotic novel. Then I oh, it's so
It's
much fun.
very much like her, trust me.
Yeah. I mean, her name is Rain Grazi. She has black hair, green eyes. I mean, come on now. Her father was in the mob.
Oh,
And
I love the fact that you wrote an erotic novel.
oh my, well, you know what? I'm very sexually comfortable.
Me
So
too.
and then I have a book with my sister Jennifer and my older sister Lana, which is a cookbook called
Yeah,
How to Use a Meat Cleaver.
I saw that.
And then I have a children's book called Grandma and Me on the Run. And yes, it was supposed to be Grandma and Me on the Lam, but apparently that's like an illegal term. I can't be on the lam with my grandson.
Really?
So it's just yeah, my
What
grand.
made you all do the cookbook?
Well, food and family are everything, right, in the Italian culture. And on my mother's side, her mother and her sisters came to America in 1918, I want to say, and her great aunt, no, my mother's aunt opened up a restaurant in Hell's Kitchen called Supreme Macaroni Company. My father started cooking there. My mother was a waitress. That's where they met and fell in love. And that's where we spent a lot of time with my grandmother going all the time. And we would sit there and take the ends off the string beans and weigh the macaroni in the front. And it always was a happy time and an experience that we shared. And then my grandmother taught my older sister Lana how to cook, because she kind of was like, my mother was a young mother. My father was a wild child, wild in the streets. So my grandmother really took care of Lana a lot. And Lana got all of the good recipes. And then we wanted to figure out how we can share our family with everyone else during Mob Wives. And that's where it came from.
Is that restaurant still there?
They sold it about 15 years ago, but it was like, and it literally was the hottest spot. Like Ava Gardner used to go there, Jackie O, um,
Where was it?
Kennedy. It was on 39th and 9th in Hell's Kitchen.
They filmed
Wow.
Professional there, Back to the Future. There were many movies. Oh, okay. So Billy Joel's album cover, The Stranger, there's a song in there, Mama, that's about our to Susie. So if you turn the cover over, if you look at the back of the album, there's a picture of my cousin Marilyn, my mother, the grandmothers, her mother. Yeah, it was a very famous restaurant. Very famous.
No, that's fabulous because, I own the newspaper, the Times Square Chronicles. So this fits right into everything.
Oh yeah, it
Actually.
was right there. Yeah, that's where my mother grew up. They all grew up on 39th and 9th.
Wow.
And my father, it's 11th Street and Avenue A, I think. What before?
Lower Side.
Yeah.
Okay. So Renee, you've also gone entrepreneurial, right? You
Yeah,
started, I think I saw you started a body butter company.
I love body butter. I love to smell delicious. So it's always been something I wanted to do. And I drove my sister nuts all through Mob Wives, shopping, looking for the right partner. And a couple of years ago, I met this wonderful woman, Lisa, and she does everything, everything's homemade. I love it. And I started BAD. Jennifer came up with the name, and BAD stands for beautiful and dangerous. So, and tongue in cheek, some of the names are like Coco Nostra, Made melon, fig, get about it.
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino. So it's very mob, it's very on brand.
Where can people get this?
So at badbodybutter.com.
And Jennifer, will this be in the interactive at the interactive theater show?
So actually, I'm glad you asked. I literally just spoke to Renee's partner today, and we're probably gonna do a variation of it where it will be Married by the Mob branded, and then the flavors will be bridegroom and gumata.
Oh,
And they'll be in a bag that you could buy at the actual thing, yeah. And then Renee's character in the play is Cookie. So we'll do probably like a variation of Married by the Mob, Cookie's Cookie or something like that. But it will be through like a collab with Renee's brand.
That's fabulous. No, because I worked on Tony and Tina's wedding a million years ago. And believe me when I tell you, the merch made so much money.
Yeah, we're really trying to figure out some really cool and clever ways to do it, modernize everything. So we'll have a few different options for people to buy on site and on the website.
Now, your first show is happening soon. Talk about that.
It's Valentine's Day weekend at the Avenel Performing Arts Center in New Jersey. It's a small not-for-profit theater. And my friend Anthony actually runs it. So Anthony does My Big Fat Gay Italian Wedding, My Big Fat Gay Funeral, My Big Fat Gay Casino Experience. So he's been doing this for years and years. And he was just like, Jen, come do it at my theater. Let me help you get the kinks out. It's your first run. So, keep it intimate. And then, you do it and then you tweak it, if you need to. So it's a safe space for us to get, to do our first run. But we've already been booked in Rhode Island at Medici Lounge. We are closing in Connecticut, in Massachusetts, and Miami, and we're talking to a casino off the Strip in Vegas. So we've got interest just based on the Mobwise brand itself, I guess, and the fact that interactive and immersive is making a huge splash again. So,
well, I think you're right when you said in the beginning, people just don't want to go to a show, they want dinner.
right.
People don't just want to go out to dinner, they want to do something else. And when you offer them something that combines both, you are speaking to their minds.
Exactly.
You're not saying, oh, I'm here to make money. You're telling them, hey, you're looking for something, I have it.
Yeah, let's have some fun, right? And one other thing I wanted to mention, the Gen Z kids and the millennials, they don't go out. Like I was in every club, Limelight, Palladium, Tunnel, the World. Like they don't go out like we used to. And they are also looking for these kind of experiences. And like everyone is kind of moving in that direction. Netflix are building Netflix houses all over the country. They're opening one in Philadelphia to bring their sort of TV brands into market. A24 just bought a theater, Cherry Lane. You probably know about that.
Oh, I love the Cherry Lane Theater.
I want to go. I haven't been, but they're like it seems to be the next evolution of entertainment, which happened years ago, right? But as we know, everything is cyclical, and now it's back in style.
Right now, I think, we've taken away all these things that we took for granted as kids growing up.
And put it all on here, and now we need to be in each other's faces again.
We do. And I love the fact that you embrace who you all are. That you're not remorseful or anything else. You're embracing it and turning it into a way that other people can see you for who you are. And I think that's important. I think that we've stopped doing that. We're so programmed to think a certain way. And I think we need to stop it.
Yeah.
I think everybody's a little sensitive. It's like everybody has their period all at once.
Bingo.
That's really what's going on. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's sensitive. You got to censor everything that you say. I'm extremely proud of who my father was. Extremely proud. Being Anthony's daughter has been one of the greatest gifts God has blessed me with. I know that's to some people, they'd be like, but your father did this and your father did that. But my father paid his price, whether he had to go to jail for the 15 years and, he didn't live a long life. He died at 78 years old.
Oh, but he lived 1,000 lives. until he was 78.
I
So
have a question though. Did he do everything they accused him of, or were there things put onto him that he did not do? Did he ever tell you any of this?
Jen, I'm going in. Okay.
wait, okay, but I have something to say too, but go ahead, go.
Here's what I can say about my father. He's never been charged with a murder. He's never been charged with drugs. So therefore, the crimes that he did commit, that he admitted to his guilt and took pleas, obviously he recognized what he did wrong. But I don't think my father's that bad of a criminal. But that's me. But I don't think he was falsely accused of.
Right. There's also another problem with the way the government runs is there's a conspiracy theory charge. So whether you actually did each crime or not, and you could if you're okay, let's say there's a drug charge and an extortion charge, but it was in connection with a larger group, you might have only did the extortion, but you're still getting charged with the drugs. They charge the entire ring. So you really can never know if everything was true or not.
That's kind of why I'm asking the question, because a lot of people that have been incarcerated or have been charged with things did not do.
Right. It's called the RICO law.
Yes.
And I think you could thank Giuliani for that one, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not.
Is there anything that I have not asked you that you would like the world to know? This is your chance to say whatever you want.
Yeah, I wrote my acceptance speech for the award. I need some help here, okay? Sue, I need you to get me in front of the right people. I wrote
okay.
when I was 16. I'm going to need a Tony.
Okay.
I'll
But you
take
gotta-
an Oscar.
But that's going to be hard because you have to get your interactive show onto Broadway.
That's
I
fine.
keep telling her that.
I know somebody who knows somebody.
Okay, I have to end this because the time is literally going to cut us all off.